Early retirement won't solve all your problems. In fact, if you're planning to retire early, you may want to rethink your plan. Early retirement is overrated. There are two better alternatives to consider. These alternatives will help you find better balance in your life and unlock financial freedom much earlier. So let's get into it. Before we talk about the two alternatives to early retirement, let's first talk about why early retirement is overrated to begin with. I'll start with 3 reasons you may want to rethink your early retirement plans. The first reason is the psychological impact that comes with early retirement. Despite what social media or retirement blogs might portray, early retirement isn't the endless vacation it's often made out to be. It represents a massive shift in your daily routine and creates 2 significant mental hurdles. First, it's isolating. Most of our social circles consist of people our age who are still working 9-to-5 jobs. When you're retired, you suddenly have plenty of free time, but few people to share it with. I experienced a glimpse of this myself when I shifted from full-time work to part-time and later to self-employment. Suddenly, I had much more flexibility to meet up with people during the week, except everyone was still working. It was a far bigger adjustment than I'd expected, and that wasn't even to full retirement. I can only imagine how much more dramatic the change would be if I'd have left work entirely. Second, it challenges your sense of identity. Think about it. How often do we define ourselves by our work? When meeting someone new, one of the first questions they inevitably ask is, what do you do? Leaving a career behind, whether at 65 or 45, forces you to redefine who you are without that job title. This identity shift often triggers feelings of loss or confusion. I'm not saying you need to work forever, and you'll see what I mean when I get to the 2 better alternatives. But it's worth noting that this identity shift is one of the biggest challenges that early retirees face. The second reason early retirement is overrated is that it's often not what people actually want. Think about it. Have you ever achieved a long-sought goal only to feel empty and realize, wait, this isn't actually what I wanted at all? This happens to many early retirees. They chase the dream of never working again, only to discover they didn't want to stop working completely. They just wanted to escape their current situation. Here's what's really going on. Many people pursue early retirement because they're stuck in a toxic work environment. Rather than finding a better job or a healthier workplace, they think, I'll just tough it out until I can retire early. How do I know this? I've been there. Back in 2018, when my husband and I committed to pursuing financial independence, my toxic job drove that decision. I thought, if I can just reach fire, I'll never have to deal with this again. But here's what happened. I couldn't even last another month in that job, let alone another 8 to 10 years. My body literally shut down from anxiety and depression, and I had to take a 6-month leave of absence just to recover. Since then, I've learned something crucial. Financial freedom isn't a finish line, it's a spectrum. Every dollar you save buys you more options, more freedom, and more control over your work life. So instead of chasing early retirement, ask yourself, what do I really want? What am I really after? You'll likely find that it's not retirement at all. It might be more time with family, or working on projects you're passionate about, or the freedom to work when you want and not when someone else demands. These goals don't actually require waiting until you're 40 or 50 or 60 to fully retire. Many of them are achievable right now if you're strategic. The third reason to reconsider early retirement is that the grind to get there often isn't worth it. Some people push through miserable jobs, sacrificing years of their life just to reach that FIRE milestone. But once they've retired, they look back and think, why did I put myself through that? A perfect example of this is Carl from 1500days.com. He's been open about his journey, calling it a death march toward early retirement. Looking back, he says he would have gone part-time much earlier rather than pushing so hard. The root of this issue is often fear, the fear of running out of money. People convince themselves that they have to wait until every dollar is accounted for before pulling the plug on their job. But that's a false narrative. Financial independence isn't a binary all or nothing decision. You don't have to wait until you're 100% financially independent to make your life better right now. You could find a less stressful job, shift to part-time work, take a sabbatical or mini retirement, or drop that side hustle that's draining your energy. These small changes might be all you need to feel free. And the sooner you make them, the sooner you'll feel like you're actually living, not just grinding your way towards some distant goal. I'm not sure about you, but sometimes it feels like we just settle for the goal of early retirement because we don't know what we want, but we know we just don't want to continue as we are for another 20 to 30 years. It's like we think early retirement is the only alternative to traditional retirement, but it's not the only other option. In fact, there are two better alternatives that will help you find better balance in your life and will help you gain more freedom a whole lot sooner. The first alternative is semi-retirement. Semi-retirement means supporting yourself through both passive and active income. Rather than quitting your work completely, you work on your terms while using financial strategies to reduce the pressure of needing a full-time salary. Here's how it works. You'll withdraw a small percentage, about 1 to 2% from your investment portfolio yearly to supplement your active income. This is far lower than the traditional safe 4% retirement rule. With this lower withdrawal rate, your investments will continue to grow, moving you closer to full financial independence. This strategy eliminates the need to grind it out at a demanding, high-paying job until you reach complete financial independence. Instead, you're using your current nest egg to create more freedom and flexibility right now, not decades in the future. The thing I appreciate most about semi-retirement is that it challenges the traditional notion of retirement. Traditional retirement and even early retirement follows a simple two-stage formula. Work hard and accumulate wealth, then stop working and enjoy life. Semi-retirement breaks free from this rigid structure. Instead of treating work and enjoyment as completely separate phases, it weaves them together, showing that you can do both simultaneously. Rather than focusing on escaping work forever, semi-retirement aims to create a better work-life balance right now. And this represents more than just a financial strategy. It's a complete shift in thinking. You don't need to endure years at a job you hate to earn your freedom. Instead, you can reshape your career around work that's meaningful, flexible, and enjoyable. The beauty of semi-retirement is that it's adaptable. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. You can customize it to fit your unique goals, values, and financial needs. But semi-retirement isn't the only alternative to early retirement. The second alternative to early retirement is mini retirements. A mini retirement is an intentional break from work. It's your chance to pause, reflect, and recharge while staying connected to your career on your terms. Unlike traditional retirement that splits life into two rigid phases, work until 65, then stop forever, mini retirements take a different approach. Instead of saving for one 20 to 40 year retirement at life's end, you can enjoy shorter retirement breaks throughout your working years. Mini retirements typically span from a few months to a couple of years. While much shorter than traditional 20 to 40 year retirements, they're long enough to create meaningful life changes. Your ideal duration depends on your goals and financial situation. Are you planning to travel, focus on a passion project, step back from burnout? Each goal might require different amounts of time, and that's what makes mini retirements so versatile. Mini retirements offer a uniquely compelling alternative to early retirement through the freedom they provide right now. Rather than just escaping work, they're about reclaiming your time and living with intention. Instead of postponing your dreams until age 65, mini retirements let you take bold steps toward a life of purpose, adventure, and fulfillment, starting right now. By asking, what do I want my life to look like today? And acting on the answer, mini retirements break from the status quo. They emphasize taking action in the present rather than waiting for some distant future. Both mini retirements and semi-retirement share this approach. It's not about deferring your life until a far-off future date, but living life to the fullest today. Which one you pursue ultimately comes down to your preferences. I'd recommend starting by learning more about semi-retirement lifestyles, and you can do that by watching this video here. And as always, thanks for watching and enjoy the journey.